Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So a quick one, how do you actually trade when you have been away for a couple of weeks, or when you have actually been inconsistent for a couple of weeks? That's absolutely difficult. What I want to share with you guys in today's video is how you can actually do those big comebacks in trading. So as for now, I do have a few trades right straight up here. If we can check them out, possibly I have gold and we are literally deep profits, caught up to around 173 pips. What I want to share with you guys is actually not revenge trading, but these are real ideas that you can actually use to get big comebacks into the markets. On top of that, I'm going to do a very good breakdown on what I see on GBPJPY, because before getting into the video, I saw a trade and I wanted to do a breakdown with you guys and then enter the trades as you guys see me in today's video. So if you guys like the video, please make sure you hit the like button and please make sure you subscribe. So a few tips before we actually go into the live trading. So when you are trying to do a comeback, the first thing is to realize your past mistakes. What were your past mistakes? Were you actually going against the trends? All those things. Or maybe you were so impatient, because those are some of the common mistakes. And then the second thing is being sure that you don't repeat the same mistakes. And most importantly, being patient with yourself, because recovery is always the most important step. So we are going to slide into the video. Yo, now what's up guys? So let's slide into the analysis now. One thing that I'm trying to ensure in here is don't do revenge trading because you have been inconsistent for a couple of days. No, like basically that, okay, I'm now back in, I want to make a lot of money and make the money that I lost. No, that's revenge trading. Okay, anyways, this is GBPJPY and we are on the daily time frame. Okay, we are on the daily time frame currently, and as you guys can see on the daily time frame, initially it's an uptrend. Okay, we have a series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay, straight up, boom, you know, we are going to the upside, but we had marked out these levels sometime back. Actually, I guess in one of the YouTube videos that we actually did, we had marked out this key level, and you can see that it has been respected 3 times so far. 1, 2, you guys can see that, the second time here, and then the third time here. So it's basically being respected. And then I also had to draw this trend line down. Okay, I had this trend line down, considering my first point being this, and then I also have my second point this, you know, basically this right here, and our last one being the last touch here. Okay, now this is how we are looking like on the daily. So basically what I would say is, you guys can see that whenever we hit a trend line, we are bouncing back off. We hit a trend line and we are bouncing back off to the upside, hitting the trend line and we are bouncing back. As you guys can see, it's the most recent action here. Okay, you can see it's the most recent price action. The price hit the trend line. Okay, hit a trend line at 160.25 290 actually, and then we had to bounce off. Now let's keep it going. Okay, now we are going to go on the H4, you know, and then see what we were actually looking at. Remember, on the H4, it's now we are looking at the 4 hours time frame, basically taking 4 hours for each candlestick to form. And straight up, this is how we are looking like. So on the H4 again, I had to scale in some trend lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I actually got this. So this is how we were looking like on the H4. So these levels were initially marked on the daily time frame. You can see we were bouncing off. And now the most important thing here is focusing on the most recent price action. Okay, focusing on the most recent price action. We have this horizontal line. Okay, as you can see, we have it at this point where it's being it's working as a support levels, price reaching and then being supported, price reaching and then being supported to the upside, price reaching and then being supported. If we can actually adjust it, we would possibly touch this and then this, okay, straight up. Now we shall keep on until we can get our entries in here. And then we also had these levels marked out, so I went ahead and had to draw a few trend lines. Okay, if I can delete this first and then this, boom, there we go. So I had to go ahead and first get a few trend lines, because the trend lines are just going to help me establish those really key important levels, so I don't have to figure out, you know, what to actually point maybe my support and resistance levels. No. So here's what I looked at. So I checked, I could possibly find a trend line at this point. So this is how I drew this, and you know, sort of this. So basically, essentially, I was looking quick one. So I was looking at this level, this level, this level. So those are 3, and that's a valid one to me, because we have 3. You can see price reaching the trend line, bouncing off, price reaching the trend line, bouncing off, price reaching the trend line, bouncing off. And then on the upper hand, on the upper side, I also had another one. So on drawing this now, I had a channel. Okay, remember channel, there are 2 trend lines, and boom, there we are. So we have 2 trend lines. Now you can see that the price is playing in around these 2 trend lines, you know, hitting this lower trend line, bouncing off, hitting this lower trend line, bouncing off. Either way, on the upper hand, on the upper side, hitting this trend line up, bouncing down, hitting this trend line, bouncing down, you know, basically just like that. Now what's the confluence that we are looking at? So if it had actually reacted here, second point, third point, and now we have a 4th point. Now this could actually be the same as this, but now we have to wait. Okay, you don't have to enter, you know, immediately. No, not at all. Now I had to go ahead and draw these levels here, because it was initially a key level. You can see it was being a key level previously, because basically I have this line here, I also have this horizontal line. So what's the assumption in here? We can assume that, okay, if the market actually doesn't obey the trend line, it will reach this level, and it would possibly, let's say, if it actually pushed up to this level, a quick one. So in here, what I'm looking at is, if the price actually broke the trend line, we would hit this trend line, this line, and either maybe come back down, you know, or again break, you know, come back for a retest, and then push to the upside, right? Basically, that's how we are looking at. So I drew those lines just to actually give me some good outlook on this, because you can't know exactly what's going to happen. Again, on the other hand, what I looked at was, since I had this trend line now scaling down on the 1 hour, boom, there we go. So scaling down on the hourly time frame, I again drew a few trend lines on my smaller time frame. So I have this lower one where I have 1, and then the second touch, and then on the upper hand I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, you know, it seems to be valid. So I now have 2 looks at this, but I won't get a trade immediately. That's facts. So here's what I'm looking at. Basically, I will check if the price bounces off this trend line, I'll take sales. Okay, if the price bounces off this trend line, as you can see, okay, I'll take sales. And again, I have a level here, so I'd assume that we would come for a pullback and then push down until we hit this trend line. Or on the other hand, we could break through the trend line, because it has happened in the past. You know, we were bouncing off a major trend line on the 4 hour, so we could possibly push the upside. So right now, what we have to do is patience. Now we have to wait for a setup to actually play out. So what I will do is, I'll basically possibly wait patiently and get this setup valid, and I'll make trades in, and I will basically share this in the Telegram channel. So let's get into that.